So we're going to find the average rate of change, slope, speed, whatever you want to call it. Um, we have the function f of x is equal to negative 2x squared plus 4, and we're going to go from 1 to 4. So we want to find the average rate of change from 1 to 4. So how do we do that? So we need the formula. So we know the slope formula. Slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's the slope formula. Another way to rewrite the slope formula is by f of b minus f of a over b minus a. Okay? They're exactly the same thing. So I'm going to start labeling these. Okay? So this will be my a and this will be my b. Okay? So when I plug this in, we're going to have f of 4 minus f of 1 over 4 minus 1. Okay? So again, A to B, that's 1 to 4, and then I plug those information in. So now I need to find what is f of 4 and what is f of 1. Well, I have my function. Here's my function right here. Okay? That's my function. So I need to use that information to find out what is f of 4 and what is f of 1. So we're going to have f of x is equal to negative 2x squared plus 4, and we're going to plug in f of 4, and then we're going to plug in f of 1. Okay, so f of 4, we're going to have negative 2, 4 squared plus 4, and f of 1, we're going to have negative 2, 1 squared plus 4. Okay, so we're going to have negative 2, and then 4 squared is 16 plus 4. So negative 2 times 16 is negative 32, and then plus 4 will give us a negative 28. The bottom here, we're going to have 1 squared is 1 times negative 2 is negative 2, plus 4 is going to give us, so have what? Negative 2 plus 4 is going to give us a positive 2. Okay. So then I just plug in that information. For f of 4, we got negative 28. And then for f of 1, we got 2. And then the bottom is still 4 minus 1. Okay. So the top, we're going to get negative 28 minus 2 is going to give us a negative 30. And then 4 minus 1 is 3. So we just simplify that and that gives us negative 10. Okay. So that will be our answer there. All right. So again, what's the average rate of change? Is negative 10. Maybe the person was driving and they're decreasing their speed by negative 10 miles per hour, slowing down, something like that. Okay. But in this case, the average rate of change is negative 10. Okay, so again, trying to find the average rate of change of this function from negative 3 to negative 2. All right. So we're going to use the formula f of b minus f of a over b minus a. So we're going to have, so this is going to be a to b. So we're going to have f of negative 2 minus uh, negative 3, f of negative 3 over negative 2 minus negative 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug this information in. So we have f of negative 2, so that'll be negative 2 cubed minus 2 times negative 2 plus 1. So when we put that in the calculator, we should get negative 3. Then we have f of negative 3, which will be negative 3 cubed minus 2 times negative 3 plus 1. So if we put that in the calculator, we get negative 20. Okay, so we just plug that information in. So f of -2 is -3 minus f of -3, which is -20. Okay, and then we have the -2 minus -3. Well, let's rewrite this. Two negatives are going to give us a positive, so that's going to be -3 plus 20. Same thing here, so this could be -2 plus 3. So the top part there, we're going to have -3 plus 20, which is 17, and -2 plus 3 in the bottom is going to give us 1. So 17 divided by 1 is 17. Okay? Okay, so we want to find the average rate of change from 2 to 4, and then for part B, we want to find the equation of the secant line containing 2f2 and 4f4. Okay, so part A, we're going to do exactly what we've been doing. Okay, so part A, we're going to have f of B minus f of A over B minus A. So in this case, this is A to B, so this is going to be f of 4 minus f of 2 divided by 4 minus 2. All right, so f of 4 there, we're going to have 4 squared minus 2 times 4. And when we put that in the calculator, we get 8. For f of 2, we get 2 squared minus 2 times 2, which gives us 0. Okay, so the top there, we get 8 minus 0, and the bottom we have 4 minus 2, which gives us 8 divided by 2, which is 4. Okay, all right, so now let's talk about part B. Find the equation of the secant line containing those two. So again, as you notice, this is my A, right? And here's our B. So this is going to be f of A, and this is our f of B. Okay? So first of all, let's talk about what the word secant line means. Okay? So if I have say a circle, all right? So if I want to find out what the tangent line is, I would draw a line on that circle and it touches it at one point, right? So this would be a tangent line. However, if I draw another line and it goes through to two separate distinct points, so here and here, okay, this is called a secant line, okay? So that's what they're asking. What is this equation is? What is this equation of this secant line? So we have some parabolic shape, right? So I don't know where it is. It's some kind of parabola. And we want to know from, say, 2 to 4, what is that equation? So, maybe it's looks something like this. Again, this is not the best um, representation or best drawing. But anyway, so from 2 to 4, I want to find out, okay, what is that equation of the secant line? So I'm going to show two ways to do that. Okay. The first way I'm going to show it is by the point slope form. Okay. So, let's get this information here. We need that. Okay, let's try one more time. Okay. So, do I need this information? Let me see if I can delete those. Okay. So here's our f of b. All right. So, again, I'm going to show two ways. Method one is the point slope form. So point slope. form. Okay, so that's just a y1 minus y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Okay, so that's going to be the point slope form, and this is my preferred method. Again, it doesn't matter which one you do. In the end, you get the same answer. But so now I can plug in my information and I can pick one of these points. So I can pick this point here, or I can pick this point here, right? And it doesn't matter because they're on the same line, so we're going to get the same exact answer. So let's just do the one on the left because it's smaller numbers. I like working with smaller numbers. So that f of 2 was 0, right? F of 2 was 0. So this is 2. This coordinate here is 2, 0, right? That's what we found out from here. F of 2 is 0. So that's one coordinate. And this one here, f of 4, right? So we have 4, f of 4. So f of 4, we found out was 8. So f of 4 is 8. Okay? So that's just a fancy way of saying when x is 4, what is f of 4? 8. 4, 8, and 2, 0. Okay? So as I mentioned, you can choose either one. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to do the first one here because it's easier to work with. Plus there's a 0, which is great. So I have y minus y1. So this is x1, y1. So my y1 is 0. And then we have m. So let's go back here. M was 4, right? That was our slope, 4. So this becomes 4 times x minus x1. And then y minus 0 is y, and I can distribute that x inside that 4. Uh, there we go. Okay, so y minus 0 is y, and then I distribute that 4. That gives us 4x minus 8. Okay, and then so that will be our answer there. So this is the equation of the secant line. So I'm going to show another method, as I mentioned before. So method 2. If you don't like that method, then you can use the slope-intercept form. Intercept form. Okay, so that's just a y is equal to mx plus b. Okay, so again, you can choose either one. I'm going to choose this one again, the 2, 0, because it has 0 in it, smaller numbers, easier to work with. So I am looking for my b. That's what I'm looking for. So I have y is 0, I have m was 4, that's what we figured out, and then x is 2. Okay, plus b. All right, so we got 0, and then 4 times 2 is 8 plus b. So minus 8 minus 8, that goes away. We have negative 8 equals b. All right, but you're like, wait, I got a b here. We're supposed to get an equation. Okay, well, we do. So we're just going to rewrite this as y is equal, and we already know our slope, which was 4, and then x minus 8. Okay, so that will be our answer here. So again, just use two different methods. You got the point slope form, and then we have the slope intercept form. At the end of the day, we get the same answer.